Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we are going to go over one of my favorite leaders that's getting some support from the anniversary box. It is the green DredgeKu leader. This is also one of the newer arts for him as well as not the original arts, but super cool. Really loved seeing it, and it's a really interesting list. It's kind of like a control list that kind of depends on taking your own life to be able to do some really cool board wipes, and it's just a really different play style than I think a lot of other decks. So just seeing the backside of this card is auto burst 3. When this card attacks, you get to draw 1. Then also activate main or battle once per turn. Place 2 cards from your life into your drop here. Choose all your battle cards and all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. Place them in their owner's drop area and go from there. So that is just a really, really strong effect, being able to use that to clear. It's both players' boards, but that's really great, especially right now with, I think a lot of decks aren't running unisons as much as at least during the unison block, because obviously this does not get rid of unison cards, but that is something. It also strictly doesn't KO them on either side, so that's something to take account for some edge rulings, but it's a really cool leader. And we do have this new Z battle card for it here. So Super Saiyan Son Goku Awakened by Rage. It's a 1 cost for 2 Z energy. When this card is played until the end of your opponent's next turn, this gets plus 5k power and can't be removed from your battle area by skills. And then also, so this means both your skills and your opponent's skills. So unless you have a way to give it minus 15k, which is obviously not too difficult, it's very good. It does not have deflect, which kind of stinks, but the rest of it is pretty good. So if your leader is green Son Goku card and you discard 1 card from your hand, when a card is placed from your deck into your drop area by one of your leader skills, your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. So it goes 1 for 1 with your opponent on the swing of your leader. So that's kind of nice. Then also auto limit 1 sparking 15 for 2 green. If your leader is a green Son Goku card, when this card is placed, when a card is placed in from your life to the drop area by one of your leader skills, add 2 cards from the top of your deck to your life. So obviously it takes 3 green energy to do that between playing this, having it stick around, and then for 2, as well as it does take sparking 15, which isn't too terribly hard to do with this leader. It is a little bit trickier than I'd say it would be because of all of the Z energy stuff, but obviously you put 2 Z energy to your drop area with just playing this guy. So by able to, it just means that you can mitigate the amount of life damage you would take for this, which just means it's, it costs technically 3 energy to do, but it doesn't cost anything else. And so 3 energy for a board wipe ignoring barrier is incredibly strong, and so I think it's something that you can take advantage of it. So we're going to show off 2 deck lists. One I think is the like a 60 card list. It's really hard to know how big of a list you need to run with this, because burst 3 really starts adding up pretty quickly for a leader like this. So I do have kind of like a 60 card list, which kind of shows pretty much all the cards I'd want to run in this deck in the first place, and then also a trimmed 50 card list if you want to be more consistent but have a little bit more kind of danger with that mulling out, which is pretty scary, because it's like you just do a lot of, if you're trying to be a control deck, being running out of cards in your deck for going into the late game kind of seems bad. But let's go over to these deck lists. So here is the first deck list for you guys. It runs a lot of the original package, which honestly was pretty good for what it is. It's very strong if you're able to get to that 4 energy and start the combo. So again, there are 2 lists of this for us today, but the main card is this Intensive Training Son Goku. So deflect barrier, active main battle. If your leader card is the green Son Goku card, and you send a total of 5 green of the Son Gohan Youth, Vegeta, Bulma, Krillin, and or Piccolo cards from your drop area to your war. Choose up to 1 mono green Son Goku card with a hand cost of 5 in your deck or hand. Play it on top of this card. Then if you did, shuffle your deck if you look through it. So there are 2 targets for that. The biggest one is the Super Saiyan Son Goku Pride of the Saiyans double strike. Permanent this can't be removed from your battle area by skills, which include your own. And then if there's a Son Goku card with a hand cost of 4 underneath this card, and this card is in rest mode, when your opponent plays a battle card with a hand cost of 5 or less, they choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them, which is great. And then when this card is played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO them. So it's a free board wipe only for your opponent, and you can do this at active battle speed, which is quite good. So you can just swing at this and then just kind of have it hang out there because it has deflect barrier. For example, like let's say you're playing against Red Sin and you're worried that the big 8 drop is going to come down next turn and pop you. You can just kind of wait until they do that, and then you can go into this guy because it can get removed by getting negative power, which kind of stinks. We also do have the final Son Goku, Final Showdown Son Goku. Just double strike pops one card with barrier, so not as good as this, but you do get to play it for free if Krillin with a cost of 4 or more in your battle area is KO'd by your opponent. So there are some ways for this to kind of come out on your opponent's turn and pop something with barrier, which is kind of nice. Just a bit of a like add to this deck. I don't think it's super good, but I did kind of want to show this card existed. But probably the best kind of card in this list is the Super Saiyan Bardock Paternal Unison. So when your opponent combos, you may place one card from their combo in your owner's dropper if you do negate the skill for the turn, which is fantastically strong, especially in this format when everyone wants to combo with all their Zenkai stuff. Making so they have to combo a second card just to get their 1Z energy is great. And when activating for +1, you may choose one of your green battle cards at any cost of 1 and KO it. If you do, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. So the reason that this one is so good is that on the front side here, it has when one of your battle cards is KO'd, you can flip this card over. If you do draw one, then switch up to one of your energy to active mode. So since this technically KOs cards, and it doesn't say specifically KO'd by your opponent's effects, you can KO one of your own battle cards with this effect, make them discard a card, get a third marker on here, and then if you do, you're able to just awaken at like 8, 7, 6 life and just be really good there. So I think that's like obviously the best kind of combo with it, but running 60 cards is a little inconsistent. Some more of our 1-drops we're running, we are playing 4 of the Krillin Potential Unlocked. So when this card's played, choose one. You can either look top 5 for Green Unison or just give this blocker. Also, during your opponent's turn, if your Son Goku and your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy cost of this card in all areas by 3, which you have to, just to make sure, it has to be KO'd. So you can't like use this effect to pop this to be able to play your 5-drop Goku. So that doesn't work, but that's something for you. And we do also have, we just have a bunch of 1-drops specifically for this Hasty Dispatch Dispo. So if there's no cards in your battle area, you send this card from your drop here to your warp, choose up to 1 battle card, then you cost a 1, your drop here plays with skills negated for the turn, which is great for essentially playing any of these dudes that you can then again pop for Bardock for free, which is very nice. You can even dispo yourself if you need to. And since this is in the Unison area, not the battle area, that does work with a Unison already out. That also means that like we can get a Son Gohan Potential unlocked, and then after that it will have blocker at the end of the turn. So since it's only negated for the turn, 1-drop Bulma, Life Dynamic as well, just being able to look top 5 for a Green Saiyan with any cost 2 or less, or a Unison with cost of 2. So this could find your Gohan or your Vegetas if you need to. And also the new Kaioken Son Goku the Furious. What a good card, especially in a deck like this. It's just a 15k crit. When this is played, your opponent has to discard 1 card from your hand. And if you have 3 or more green, if you have 3 or more mono green, you can for 1. And then also activate battle once per turn for 1 green. This gets plus 10k power for the battle. So like if neither player has a lot of cards left in hand, which is usually how these matches go, you can go into this Kaioken Son Goku and then you do some really strong stuff. Our backup unison is Piccolo, Guardian of the Earth. Auto once per turn if you have 1 or more Z energy. When your opponent's battle card is KO'd, this gets plus 5k power for the turn. This can be on both players' turn, which is good. And also plus 1 active main, draw 1, and -1 active main. This gets dual attack, so that's cool. We do also have Super Saiyan Son Goku Awakened by Rage that we talked about earlier. We have 4 of these, and then just 3 of the Frieza Resurrected Ambition. This is just nice, especially since it's a double strike out of your Z deck for only 1 energy. So when this card's played, choose a 20 opponent's battle cards, any cost of 5 or less, and KO it. And also auto once per turn, place 1 of your Z energy in its owner's drop here. When one of your other green battle cards, any cost 2 or more attacks, your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. This is kind of more of a late game kind of thing for us. Again, our kind of best curve is turn 1, play one of these 1-drops. Our super combo also is this Vegeta the Lone Prince. It's just a super combo. If your leader is green and your life is 4 or less, you get to draw a card. But also if your leader is mono green, this card's played, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. It is also just really good because it's a 1-drop. You can't play it off Dispo just because of how the timing works for it, so you have to know that. But it also is a Vegeta, which is important for this 4-drop intensive training Son Goku as well. We do have Ribrians because we do build a drop area for free. We do have Great Ape Son Gokus for the same reason. And then we also have the Koitsukai Mechanical Courage for both these effects because we build for free. And then for one, we can make it difficult. You know, like it just like makes our opponent discard cards, which is kind of nice. Also, if we need to find cards or if we have like some of these in our hand, we can put them to the bottom of our deck and then you can play them from our deck with our 4-drop, which is kind of nice. Secret rare, we're using the Invader's Vow, mostly because there's not really much of a good one for us. If you like just something better, go for it. This is just kind of nice because you're able to just make your opponent discard 2 for 1, and that's pretty good in a deck like this when you're already paying a 2 to make them discard 2. So there's that. Dormant Potential because we're good. I didn't put Frieza, Charismatic Villain in, as you guys have probably seen, and the main reason for that is because we get board wipes for free off of our leader, and so I just felt like it wasn't worth having to discard a card from our hand to pop one thing when we have so many other ways in this deck inherently to destroy the board that it just didn't really make sense to me. So I didn't put that in. That is the reason why. And I think that's all the cards. Dormant Potential, I think we talked about. Earth Destroying Kamehameha, just good. Obviously, it's just fine. I found myself charging this a lot. It's probably not super needed, but it's probably one of the best staple green cards in the game, so it is worth a mention there. And then also this Krillin, if you need to. It's just a 2-drop that lets you draw 2 and then discard 1 on a blocker. Usually not worth it, but it does have the Krillin name, so that does kind of be helpful for us. So this is the 60 card list, and if I was trying to make it a 50 card list that was really consistent at trying to find that Bardock turn 2, like this is such an important card for us. If we can set this up, if we can use it to KO something and get the discard 1 and then make your opponent have to swing into this to get their advantage back because of it, I think you're in a really good spot. So because of that, this is like the smaller list for it. It is a bit tight on a couple of these ratios. It is exactly 50 cards. If you want to make it up like a 52 3-card list, I think that's fine. Or if you can't get 4 copies of this yet because it just came out, that's also fine. But this would be the 50 card list for me on this guy. Again, just prioritizing finding this Bardock turn 2, and then as soon as turn 3 starts, as long as you have enough into your drop area, you can start playing these Gokus once per turn, which just means that you can do a free board wipe every turn as long as this Goku still hangs around, which is kind of good. Which is just strong. I know it has to do a lot to get into it, but doing this on turn 3 to guarantee you live to turn 4 to be able to play this guy is worth it. 9 times out of 10, this is just such a strong card once it gets established. You get 2 boards, and then if you clear a board and your opponent has to start playing 5 cost or less again, they have to discard 2 cards every time, and most decks can't really play around that or get rid of this either, and it's just kind of great in a lot of ways. So we're obviously, I don't know, like it's a weird build too because we rarely play any extra cards. The only one we play is Dormant, and not a lot of blockers either because they just don't really need to exist when we have everything else that this deck kind of offers. And that's pretty much it. This is the list for you guys. And I really enjoyed playing it. I highly recommend trying this out, showing me your own builds if you guys have any troubles with it. But it's an oldie but a goodie, and I really do like this leader. So that's going to be it for me. I appreciate you guys watching and making it this far. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know of any other leaders you want me to try to build for the anniversary set meta, and that will be it for me. So thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.